we literally have the greatest economic shift of our lifetime. And the only thing that you need to do, the key here, is to get in between the people and the money when it moves. If you can do that.
Yo, what up, world? It's your man Chaos on the MIC. This is the Financially Lit Podcast. I got my guy Nick G right here.
How y'all doing today?
Today we're going to talk about the Law of Demographic Inevitability.
Yes, sir. Essentially what that is, I mean, if people don't really understand, you got to first look at the baby boomer generation. So the baby boomers literally changed the face of business as they aged. So this generation, literally nothing like this had ever happened in history before, at least the history of the United States. After World War II, 18 million people were born within 18 years of each other, literally. So like from 1946 to 1964, 18 million people. So what that did to industry, first off, when you have 18 million babies coming into the market all at the same time, they need certain things, right? Like baby food, diapers, that kind of stuff. So those industries were literally transformed overnight. Anybody that was in like the baby food industry, the diaper industry, their businesses exploded over this 18-year growth period that they're just necessary now. So what the smart people did and what they saw and what we can look at now as we look back on what happened, as these baby boomers aged and got older, they're becoming teenagers, it changed the face of the automobile industry. Fast food, drive-ins, movie theaters, like the drive-ups, all of those industries just started booming. So we literally, like, GM starts taking off, Ford starts taking off. These are the times when they literally started getting their lion's share of the market. And then as these babies or these baby boomers start getting older, they become young adults. Houses needed to go up everywhere, right? Sprawling subdivisions went across the whole U.S. and it really impacted our economy in a good way. GDP starts going through the roof because obviously when houses are being built, it affects the economy in a positive way. Everything that goes into building a house, the lumber, all the parts, and then to furnish the house, the labor, right? Think about like the sinks, the faucets, the pipes, the tile, everything that goes into building a house, all these companies. And then all these companies also have, different services that they need to be in business as a company. So when houses are being built, it really impacts the GDP of the nation. It helps the economy in a strong way. We had 18 million people, this baby boomer generation that's now needing houses. So
it kind of caused like a tidal wave through the market.
Absolutely. Everywhere that they went.
When they were born and then just like rippled through. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, depending on the age bracket they were in, those industries were booming at that time.
100%. Yeah. So that is literally the law of demographic inevitability. The demographics will show inevitably this baby boomer generation is going to have to age. And as they age, there's going to be certain things that they need. The necessities of life change as you age. So if you want to capitalize on this law of demographic inevitability, then all you need to do is set up companies ahead of that curve so that your company's already set up and in the market when they get to the age that's needed for those services, so that you could then be in a perfect spot to grow in that market because the opportunity's right, the timing's right. So
literally like catching a wave like a surfer.
Exactly. You got to catch the wave. And this demographic inevitability wave. So after they were the young adults, they get into middle age, right? And once the baby boomers became middle age, we start seeing all this health and beauty, anti-aging stuff, weight loss, this kind of stuff, because everybody's now trying to preserve their beauty, their skin,
get fit, get healthy,
all that stuff. So those industries literally boom through the roof. And you see, different types of MLMs even that started popping up for those, where you have cosmetics, door to door and things like that. And those were successful during that time because of the market opportunity. Those types of MLMs might not have been successful in the 30s or something like that, when there wasn't that many people there to service that part of the market. But because of the law of demographic inevitability, each time this population gets older, that industry gets affected so much that people start trying to service them, and it just creates this need in the marketplace. So after they aged from the middle age, the baby boomers are now the wealthiest segment in history. So they literally control 70% of the nation's wealth today.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of money. That's like, and we see that the inequality of wealth in America is huge, right? 99% of the wealth is controlled by 1% of the population. Well, that is true, but also understand that 70% of the nation's wealth is in the baby boomers population. So this is the wealthiest segment of the population in history up to today. And they have the biggest market need ever for wealth preservation currently. As these boomers pass on their accumulated wealth to their heirs, that's the biggest market need in history for those types of services, financial services, and things like that. So if the problem is big enough and the solution is big enough, then we literally have the greatest economic shift of our lifetime. And the only thing that you need to do, the key here, is to get in between the people and the money when it moves. If you can do that, perform a service, provide value in some way, that is the market where you're going to make a lot of money today in financial services, wealth preservation services. And because of the RONI and the market and how our currency is being devalued right now, there's a huge market need to show these boomers financial literacy in the realm of wealth preservation and making sure that they can protect the value of their stored wealth before it devaluates. Because I don't know if many of them are really aware of the coming devaluation. Maybe they've heard something about the war on cash or things like that, but it's getting really apparent. I mean, the Fed just agreed to print $2 trillion, right? Everybody's getting about $1,200 each so that they can produce stimulus for the economy, so that
it's just raining money around here.
Yeah,
we're just printing it and throwing it out of the sky.
Helicopter cash, right? And so $2 trillion, that's the biggest stimulus package in history. And their Fed's talking about printing $10 trillion more to buy corporate-backed bonds, security, and debt, and things like that. So
that's crazy.
That's like $12 trillion out of thin air. What does that do to the purchasing power of their money? It devalues it heavily. So there's an opportunity here to show them how to protect the value of that stored wealth, and also help them pass it on to their heirs in proper vehicles. Show them how to be proper stewards of that wealth and create generational wealth, because that's the type of literacy they need right now, especially when they're, the wealthiest segment of the population. And the younger people that are listening to this right now, the millennials, they have a huge opportunity to be put to work in those industries to help these people. So anybody that's young, a millennial, they have the opportunity to come learn, come be a part of this movement, and get financial literacy, become financially lit, so they can be able to help the baby boomer generation, which that's the generation that has the most need for the face of business, no matter how old they were. Now they're this old. Every 7 seconds for the next 7 years, another baby boomer turns 65. That's crazy. So
that's the market right now you need to be in. Whatever, the 65-year-olds.
There goes another one. Bro, there goes another one. Literally, there's another 65. For real. So they literally have a huge market need right now. And anybody listening, if you're a baby boomer, we can help you preserve the value of that wealth, put it in sovereign ecclesiastical trust, make sure your currency doesn't devalue, and then secure that wealth with real money, like silver, gold at the treasury, minted at the treasury. And if you're a millennial, we can teach you exactly what that means that I just said, and show you how to provide that service to them, provide value to them, so that you can become financially literate and help them. You get a commission for doing that, obviously, because it's a financial service. We have a financial brokerage to help with that. So become a licensed mortgage loan officer. Help that segment of the population that's highly underserved but needs the most service. Big market opportunity for people right now.
Definitely. It sounds like it. So what do I need to do if I want to get in between the people and the money when it comes to the 65-year-olds? What's the move? So, where do I catch the wave right now?
Right now, become a mortgage loan officer. If you're an MLO, what you can do is, all of these baby boomers are downsizing right now because of the way the economy is. Yeah,
they're all trying to just downsize so they can save some money and just live a more frugal lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. They're in conservation mode right now. Gotcha. They're in retirement mode. 65 is retirement age, right? So they are retiring. They are going into a contraction mindset, and it's kind of scary to think about. But when you're that age and you're thinking about retiring and you have a set income now for the rest of your life, you're literally budgeting how much you're going to spend until you die. You're trying to make it just last until it runs out. And some people think that way, but what we're trying to get people to think about is it doesn't have to be that way. You can, doesn't matter how old you are, you can implement some easy tactics to just use some financial literacy with the proper jurisdictions and leverage what you have now to create a sustainable cash flow so that you can leave a legacy behind for your family. So you can start creating a generational wealth with your own family bank, your own trusts, these kind of vehicles that your family can take advantage of. And ideally, that's what a lot of people would want to do, right? I mean, they have life insurance policies with the death benefit and things like that so that they can take care of their family when they're gone.
Yo, and that wraps it up for today, folks. We got so much more information coming your way. Make sure you guys stay safe in these crazy times.
Till next time, y'all.
We out.